everybody. How you doing? What is going on? It's I, Jason Thrifts, America's #1 thrifter, and I wanted to tell you a tale. I wanted to tell you a tale of an honest buyer. But let's back up a quick second here and get into this a little bit, because this is something that really, really bothers me. If you go into many Facebook groups that deal with online selling, with eBay, with thrifting, with Amazon, with Etsy, the overall prevailing attitude is that buyers are all out to scam you, and they're a bunch of no good lowlifes. And that just isn't the case. And oh my gosh, I keep knocking that to bring it up. And so let's take this off for a quick sec. So when you look at other Facebook groups, and I'm saying other based, not mine, the thrifting board, every time there's a hiccup in an order or a customer wants to return something, the automatic go-to is the buyer's a scammer, the buyer's a piece of S. Don't kowtow to these scammy buyers. And if you would read those groups, if you were just starting your online selling journey and you haven't discovered my group yet, you would think, oh my God, I am not going to do this because everyone is out to get me. And I've even had people say in my group, well, look, I was going to start this journey, but I see some problems. Okay, all right. How many problems did you see today? 4. Okay, let's talk about those 4. Is there a time when people have problems? Absolutely. But there are 56,500 sellers in my group. Now, let's say we're all not real good at this and we only sell 1 item a day. 4 people had a problem. So that leaves you 55,496 completed sales with no issues whatsoever. And people go, oh yeah, I never thought of it that way. They're focused on the 4 people that had a problem. Now, we of course want to talk to the 4 people who had a problem because they might need some help. No one ever says, oh, hey, I sold this Boba Flex CD for $10 and it's going out and the customer's happy, because there's no need to. But if you have a buyer who said, hey man, I didn't receive my product, or there's a stain on it that doesn't look like it is in the picture, that's a problem you got to address. But is the majority of those people lying and scamming? Absolutely not. So first off, I implore you, if you're in groups that you see the word scam, scammer, people bashing buyers, get out of those groups. There's no need to be in them. But let me share you a story how good and honest buyers can be and how it really helped out. All right, so let me bring my little graphics back up here. I sold these adorable Wonder Woman underpants last night for $10. And the story is about these underpants. So let me back up. I sold this awesomely cute mermaid swimsuit a couple weeks ago. The buyer opened a return. Now I have free domestic 60-day returns. And for a couple of reasons. A, I never get anyone at day 58 going, hey, I want to return this. But because I have 60-day returns, I am up higher in the search than everybody else. Free 60-day returns. I get returns from time to time, but I just resell them, and usually for more money. So buyer gets this swimsuit. It's the beginning of swimsuit season. It's new with tags. She opens a return. I don't have to say anything because it's automatic returns, but I go look at her reason. I'm always curious. And she said, great, cute swimsuit. Sad it doesn't fit. And so it comes back in the mail. And of course, I just want to double check that the tags were still on. And they were. But before I open the box, I have a problem with opening my mail. My mail tends to sit around for a little while. And so no one needs to return after a day and a half or 2 days. I'm like, I should probably open it to make sure that the swimsuit is in there, make sure that it has the tag still attached. And it did. But guess what else was in that box? These underpants. Because guess what? These underpants and this swimsuit are in the same tub in my closet where I keep all my clothes for sale. Somehow, when I pack them up, I grab these 2 things together. If the buyer isn't honest, she would have never sent that back to me. Now, cut to last night, I sell those underwear, and what would be happening right now? I wouldn't be doing this fun video. I, along with my assistant and probably my wife, if she had a few moments, would be tearing this office apart for a $10 pair of panties because they wouldn't be here. They would not be here. So being honest, she saved me the biggest headache of my week, because I would want to make sure this customer is taken care of. And if I can't find these, I would have to look and look and look, and then look in the same tub I just looked in, and the same tub that Kelly, my helper, looked in, and the same tub my wife looked in, because although I trust those two, we got to keep looking until we find it. But we never would have found it. Never would have found it. But guess what? Not only was the buyer nice in returning it, just in the same condition she got the swimsuit in, she returned these. Then my thought went to, oh my God, does she think I'm weird? And I was sending her free panties. So I actually reached out to her. I thanked her for being honest. And I told her, hey, I teach people how to sell on eBay. I'm going to use this as an example. I'm not going to mention your name, but I just want to let you know I am going to use this as an example of how buyers normally are. And that's the truth. There are so few scammers, so few people trying to pull one on you. On a scale, on a pie chart, it wouldn't even register, because the amount of good, honest people who purchase so outweigh the bad that the sliver on the pie chart would be so tiny, it wouldn't even show up on the pie chart. Have I been attempted to be scammed, or have I been scammed in the past? Absolutely. Because I've been selling for 20 years. It's inevitable. I've been scammed as both a seller and a buyer, but I took care of it without emotion. I took care of it through the right channels, and I always came out in the end on top. I didn't have any loss, but it happens. It does happen. In my group, we don't ever allow the word scammer, because 99.9% of the time when someone wants to use it, it's not just because a customer is difficult and wants to return something because the shade of green wasn't exactly what they pictured, does not make it a bad customer or a scammer. Makes it a particular customer. You know, I've seen people say, hey, this customer's telling me how to ship, so I feel like I'm going to get scammed. Why? The reason the customer is telling you how to ship is because they've received things in the past that weren't shipped right. Look, I collect breakable tiki mugs. I'm in tiki Facebook groups. The amount of broken mugs that show up every day around the world are saddening, because people don't take 2 minutes to learn how to ship. Okay. So when a buyer says, please ship it this way, they're not being a jerk. They're not being an ass. They're telling you, hey, I've received this product in the past and it wasn't shipped well. This is how you should ship it. So please stop thinking buyers are out to get you. Stop thinking that every time there's a little hiccup. I mean, here's how it works. Buyer buys something, they pay, I ship, they get it. End of story. But sometimes the buyer goes, hey, where'd this go? Now, look, because of coronavirus, all my international orders that usually take just a couple of weeks have been taken 2 months. Had a few buyers open a claim, which is their right to do. Have worked with every one of them, and I had four around the world that were just taking forever. And I said, look, because of COVID, things are moving super slow. So please undo your claim, and let's just be patient and wait. If it doesn't show up, I will happily take care of you. Look at my feedback score. It's 100%. I always take care of my customers. Every single buyer said, no problem. I had Germany, Canada, England, and I think France. Russia. And guess what? Every one of those customers got their package and let me know that it arrived, because again, they could have said, hey man, it never arrived. And I would have been like, fine, here's your refund. But all four of those customers said, hey, it arrived. Thanks for letting me know. And I said, thank you for being patient. Most took 2.5 months, but they arrived. And the customer said they arrived. So that is your norm. That is your norm. So I implore you, again, if you're in Facebook groups meant to help your online selling business and they allow talks of every buyer being a scammer and someone out to get you, get out of there. Get. Now, when you're in the thrifting board, if you see me talking about scamming or scammers and I allow it, that means it's really happening, because there are scammers. I'm not blind. My head is not buried in the sand. I know there are some people out there. Look, any facet of your life, someone's going to try and scam you. It's a truth. But the average customer isn't. So when we have those few that are trying to perpetrate a fraud, we can talk about it. But we have to see proof that it's a fraud or that it's a common scam. Just because a buyer didn't like the shade of green and they want to return it does not mean they're a scammer. It means their monitor is off, their eyes are off, or you wrote a bad listing. That's not a scam situation. So please treat every buyer the same way. They're just honest people buying your products. Let them prove that they aren't that person before you go scream and scam. Because sometimes you get the panties back in the mail on the right day because you sell them the next day and all is good with the world. So now I got to go ship some Wonder Woman panties, and hopefully someone buys this kick-ass mermaid brand new with tags swimsuit because it's going to be swim season, or it is depending on where you live. Not in Ohio, but here in Vegas, it is swim season. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please join us over on the thrifting board. Look for this picture up at the top and come on in. It's a free group. There is 56,000. What do we got? 56,508 people who love to help each other. And we like to have some fun. This is a guy selling a saw with that great picture of his digit missing. We have social media share threads every day. Here's some pictures that people found wondering how they should sell them. How do I find items that are restricted to other countries? More shenanigans. So a lot of help in the thrifting board. People love to help there, and we keep things on top and honest. And until the person proves they're pulling some shenanigans, we treat every customer with respect, whether they're a hard customer or not. They all get the same respect and they all get the same service. And that is all I had to say today about that. So thank you very much. Check out the thrifting board, and tomorrow night, check out Thrifty Business on YouTube. That is my Thursday night show. We're going to have a guest who has been selling online for 30 years almost. So before online was online, he was on BitNet, which is like pre-internet. So you don't get to talk to too many people who've been selling online for almost 30 years. So it should be a fun conversation. So have a great day, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye, everybody.